about it. Believe me, we all do. Okay?
Yeah.
You're not alone in this one.
I'm proud of my record.
Okay. So let's go to this one. This is another area that earlier this month you reached out to Anita Hill, and you personally expressed some regret to her about the way you behaved, I guess, back in 1991 when you were on the Senate committee. You didn't vote for Clarence Thomas, right?
Not only didn't I vote for Clarence Thomas, I believed her from the beginning.
Yeah.
I was against Clarence Thomas. I did everything in my power to defeat Clarence Thomas, and he's won by the smallest margin anyone ever won going on the Supreme Court.
But she was not 100% happy with your discussion with her. So here's your opportunity right now to just say you apologize, you're sorry. I think we can clean this up right now.
Well, by the way, I did. I understand. Look, I'm not going to judge whether or not it was appropriate, whether she thought it was sufficient, but I said privately what I've said publicly. I am sorry she was treated the way she was treated. I wish we could have figured out a better way to get this thing done. I did everything in my power to do what I thought was within the rules to be able to stop things. But look, take a look at what's happened. What I did when we got through that god-awful experience she'd been through, she's one of the reasons why we have the Me Too movement. She's one of the reasons why I was able to finish writing the Violence Against Women Act. She's one of the reasons why I committed, and that was over. There'd never be a Judiciary Committee I was involved with that didn't have women on it. So I went out and got a commitment that the women I campaigned for would come on the committee. Yeah. So she's responsible for significant changes, and she deserves credit for it. And one of the things you saw is, how about the last hearing?
Right. Yeah.
We haven't. There's so much more work to do to figure out how. The one important thing I know is, and if there's anything in terms of mindset of Supreme Court hearings and those kinds of circumstances, Supreme Court hearing is not a trial. It's a job interview. It's a job interview. And you don't have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt anything as to why you shouldn't put so-and-so on the court. And so I'm grateful she took my call.
You, for as long as I have, I don't know why it took you so long to call her. I wish it had happened earlier.
Well, I tell you what the deal was. I did not, since I had publicly apologized for the way she was treated, I'd publicly said it, I publicly had given credit for her, the contribution she made to begin to change this culture in a significant way, that what I didn't want to do, and I didn't want to, quote, invade her space. I didn't want to get in the situation where this became, and then when I heard all this about and it was legitimate, expecting a call every time the phone rang, and so I spoke to some leading women advocates in this area someone knew her, and I said, could you see whether she'd take my call?
Yeah.
And I was grateful she took my call.
I think what she wants you to say is, I'm sorry for the way I treated you, not for the way you were treated. I think that would be closer.
Well, but I'm sorry the way she got treated. In terms of, I never heard say, if you go back and look what I said and didn't say, I don't think I treated her badly. I took on her opposition, what I couldn't figure out how to do, and we still haven't figured it out.
Yeah.
How do you stop people from asking inflammatory questions? How do you stop these character assassinations outside? There was a full-blown attack on her in order to try to get the defense, quote unquote, for Clarence Thomas. And no woman or any victim of harassment should ever be put through that circumstance in public hearing.
Yeah.
And so, look, if you notice, we're all still looking for, how do you change the process of having the hearing? Do you do it in camera? Do you do it,
One of the things I read she said is that she wants to see the issue elevated, that she's willing to be open to you, but she wants to see this issue treated fairly and elevated. So how do you do that?
Was also not having the other women testify.
Right.
The other women that would have been able to corroborate what happened.
The truth is that the key witness wanted to testify. We decided she didn't want to testify. We actually sent her a document and saying, I want you to come. To her lawyers in a hotel, yeah. And I had it signed. If you do not, I want you to come. But if you don't want to come, sign this. Tell me it's real. And there is a document saying that. Now, people will then say, well, why didn't you call her anyway? Well, I thought the issue was to try to make it clear that I believed Dr. Hill. I believed what she was saying. And what would happen if someone came and said, well, I'm not going to say anything? That would have guaranteed that this happened. So look, there are a lot of mistakes made across the board. And for those, I apologize that we may have been able to do and conduct it better. But I believed Dr. Hill from the beginning. From the beginning.
Yes.
And I said it.
Yeah.
I said it.
Okay.
And so
maybe she'll come on the show with you here. That would be a nice.
Well, by the way, I'm prepared to do that. I just think she is a remarkable person. Think
historical
of what
figure, really.
No, she really is.
Yeah.
And it's remarkable what she was able to generate. And some of you may remember that. Well, anyway.
Well, we're not done with you anyway. We got to take a break. We'll be right back with more from Vice President Joe Biden.